Okay, I hope the tripod is okay and that my phone's not going to overheat. You may notice this is different scenario or place if you've ever watched any of my other book videos, but it's such a lovely day out that I just wanted to be outside. So let's talk about books out here on the deck. It's the first really summerish day that we've had. It's like 25 degrees, feels like 30 in Celsius, of course, because I'm in Canada. So I just want to be outside. So let's talk about books. Hello, my name is Sophia. Welcome to my channel. I post some book content, mostly crochet content, and just anything that I feel like. So hello and welcome. And today I wanted to talk about all the books that I read in April and May. I only read 6 books combined between those 2 months, and the reasons why my reading was so much lower is because I had exams for April, like at the end of April, and then in May I was just like kind of fed up from my exams and I didn't feel like reading because I have to read a lot for school obviously, and then reading, even though it's like different content, it kind of can feel the same. So I got a little bit sick of reading and I wasn't reading much, but then I ended up going to Europe for close to 3 weeks, so that also there was not a lot of time for reading there. Hold on, I might just clean the camera. Maybe that's better, maybe not. Anyways, also have to apologize if there's any yard work noise. Obviously I'm outside, so hopefully it's not too bad. But of those 6 books, I read 2 audiobooks, 2 physical books, and 2 ebooks, so it was perfectly split amongst the 3 types of media. Let's get right into the first one. The first one I read was The Unworthy by Augustina Bazterrica, translated by Sarah Moses, and this was a physical book. This is kind of in the format of a journal from a woman in a religious convent, and she's writing with anything that she can find, like her own blood, the juice of berries, like it's like secret that she's writing this kind of journal. And it's in a religious convent type of thing where outside of the walls of this religious convent the whole world seems to be in ruin. It generally just follows what's going on in the convent, I don't know what it's called, and with this woman's life. She's navigating danger and there's new people coming in and the systems of power that are in place. There's lots of control, like control of these people from the higher ups, and violence in this book, and also body horror. Some of it wasn't so bad. And it was also quite a short book, so it's easy to get through. I read this after I had read, what's it called? Tender is the Flesh by her, which I really liked, and also I read her short story collection 19 Claws and a Blackbird, which I didn't like as much as Tender is the Flesh, but I did really like. Tender is the Flesh for me was just so different than anything else I had ever read before, in the sense that I don't read so much horror, so maybe if people are like big horror readers it won't be that shocking to them, but it was like so violent, but more than the violence, what got to me was the fact that like people would do stuff like that. And I don't want to give any spoilers, but I really like Tender is the Flesh. This one for me wasn't as good as her other works. It was kind of on the same level as 19 Claws and a Blackbird, maybe, just because I personally don't really like short stories collections that much, so I didn't love 19 Claws and a Blackbird. But sorry, I just have my notes here if you see me looking over. Yeah, it was still good, just wasn't as amazing. I did feel like, sorry, there's a hair. I did feel like I wanted to know more about our main character and her history and like how she ended up there. I know that there was quite a bit of history like in the form of flashbacks that was told to us, but not enough. Can I say that? Like I just kind of wanted a bit more. And also I wanted to know more about the world, like why was the world the way that it was, like so in ruin, and also how this religious convent came to be, and you know, stuff like that, like kind of just more history of the world. But obviously with the way that it was written in the form of like a journal, that's really hard to do because it would have to either change format of the way that the book is written, or she would have to write that down, but that's not really something you write down, right? So it's hard to do that. There's also some like sapphic LGBT themes in this book, which was nice, but there's also, outside of that, there is I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but like SA in this book, so be warned if that's something that is hard for you to read. It was present in this book and quite hard to read. So yeah, I ended up giving that one, sorry my hair is just everywhere in this wind, I ended up giving that one 4 stars for that because it was good, but for me Tender is the Flesh was a 5-star read and this wasn't that. So next I read an ebook, which was How to American, and then the byline is An Immigrant's Guide to Disappointing Your Parents by Jimmy O. Yang. And as I said, this was an ebook. He is an actor and a comedian. I really love him as an actor, specifically in this Christmas movie called Love Hard. I feel like that's such an underrated Christmas movie. I watch it at least once a year, but sometimes I'll watch it like outside of the Christmas season too, just because I really like it. And I really liked him in that. I thought he was a great character in that, but he was also in Silicon Valley, Crazy Rich Asians, and also Patriots Day, and other stuff of course, but those are the main ones that I've liked him in. So I was just researching one day like all the movies that he's been in to see what I could watch, if that makes sense. Then I found out that he actually has this memoir book, and I really wanted to read it, and it was available at my library, Libby. So I got it on the ebook and I read it. It follows his whole life. He moved from Hong Kong to LA when he was 13, I believe, or like the California LA area. And then he's trying to navigate life, you know, being a new immigrant teenager, how that affected his social life and making friends. And then it goes all the way up until he is, you know, present day, and through how he became successful in his acting and through his comedy. And I really liked it. I thought that his voice, like as the book, was quite charming and funny, just like he is as an actor. It was a quick read and it was nice, interesting, and relatable, and there were some funny moments, and yeah, I just really liked this one, so I ended up giving it 5 stars. Then I read another ebook, which was Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant. This is a mermaid book, but instead of mermaids being like really pretty and sort of harmless, they are more of like a monster character, and instead of being like beautiful and like fish, they're more like eels, which I really thought was interesting. The book follows a cruise ship which is on the hunt to find these mermaids in the depths of the Marianas Trench, if that's how you pronounce it, and it wants to make a documentary of them. It happened 7 years after another ship had gone out with the same intent to like make a documentary of these mermaids, but instead of coming back, the ship was abandoned and there was no people on it, and the only thing that they found, I don't think this was a spoiler, was like footage of mermaids, but the whole world thinks it's faked and stuff like that, but real people died. So anyways, the same company goes out again to try to do the exact same thing with more precautions and stuff like that. I was really excited for this just because of how novel the idea of mermaids is. Like I really liked I don't know, I think it's called, I don't know what it is, but I'll put it here. It's like a different mermaid book that I read that was kind of similar in the way that mermaids were like villains and not this pretty creature luring sailors to the depth, but like kind of more of like monster character, and I really love that. That was a 5-star read and one of my favorites reads from last year. So I was interested to get more into mermaid books like that, but this one didn't have the same impact on me as that one did. I found that the main reason was because it was way too long. Like I think of my ebook, this was like 800 pages. I personally feel like at least 400 pages could have been shaven off of that without very much taken away from the story. Most of the scenes felt quite repetitive, like especially, I don't want to spoil it, but like past the halfway mark, a lot of the scenes were like really repetitive, and I was like, okay, can we get something else, or you know. And there was also a really large cast of characters, so I found it hard to remember who was who, but that's just me. I really like the idea, as I said, but for me it wasn't the best. So yeah, that was a 3-star read. Then I had an audiobook which is called The Body, A Guide for Occupants by Bill Bryson. I really like Bill Bryson. I have multiple of his books when he did the Appalachian Trail and when he was visiting in Australia. So this is a more scientific type book of teaching us all about the human body and how it works and why it's so amazing. It wasn't hard for me to read as someone who doesn't know that much about science. I thought it was easy, and I thought that his voice was quite nice, and it almost felt like just a friend telling you some fun facts about the human body, which is nice. I think it is read by the author, so I do recommend the ebook because I liked it. Even if it wasn't the author, I really liked whoever read it. But this is loaded with so much information that I found myself forgetting some stuff as the chapters went on, which is kind of normal, and I'm someone who doesn't retain that much information like that well anyways, unless I like have to, so maybe that's normal. But yeah, it was just so information heavy, as it has to be, right? It was an easy book for me to put on while I was cleaning or something else, cleaning or crocheting or something, and still made me feel like I was learning and being productive in what I was putting into my brain. So yeah, that was a 5-star read for me because I don't see how it could have been improved. For the second last book to talk about, we have The Kiss Quotient by Helen Hoang. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. This was a physical book. I believe I just picked this up like at a thrift store or something because I have heard about this book multiple times in the past. and wanted to try it out. I wanted something easy to read. So this is a romance which follows a workaholic mathematician who also is autistic. In the book it's referred to as Asperger's, so I don't know if Helen wanted that to be, you know, the same. She wants to get into a relationship and decides that she will need lots of practice in order to do so. So she hires a professional escort named Michael to teach her the ways of kissing and other romance acts, if that makes sense. Then of course they end up kind of falling in love a bit, which of course they will because it's a romance book. This was good and entertaining. I did really like the autism representation. I thought it was refreshing because maybe I'm just not reading that much, but I don't remember reading any books that had the main character having autism, and especially in like a romance setting, so I thought that was really nice. The spice was okay. It was not overly spice heavy, but there was some, if that's not something you enjoy reading. But for me it wasn't bad, it was okay. I am a little bit picky with like the spice that I enjoy reading. Like it has to be just a lot of specifics for me to like it, but whatever, that's fine. She didn't write this book just for me. So yeah, it was just okay, not my favorite, but it did the job. It wasn't too bad or cringy, which is sometimes something that I can find is the spice will be like so overly cringy. This wasn't cringy, it did just kind of feel real, so that's good. Sorry if you hear those dogs barking, it's my neighbor's dogs. So anyways, I wanted something light and easy to read because after my exams, so this did the job. And then the final book that I have to talk about, and I know that this is going to be like a shorter video just because I don't really feel like I have that much to say about these books, if that makes sense. But yeah, I hope this is still entertaining. But yeah, it's Martyr by Kaveh Akbar, and again, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. This was another audiobook, and I don't want to explain the story too much because I feel like I won't do it justice, but this came highly rated for multiple people on BookTok and BookTube. This follows our main character, whose name is Cyrus, and his mother died in a senseless accident when he was just a baby, and then his father has recently passed away, and he's struggling to find meaning and purpose in his life. He also deals with some substance abuse. He develops a sort of obsession with murders from history and goes to New York City to meet this woman who's in an art gallery and decides she's dying from, I believe, cancer, but I'm not 100% sure on that, some illness. And she decides that she will sit in this gallery for the remaining months that she has left and talk to people about dying. So he becomes really infatuated with her and goes to meet her in New York City. He also kind of wants to find a way to become a martyr himself. I really wanted to like this, but I just couldn't get that into it, if that makes sense, unfortunately. It just didn't work for me personally. I see why a lot of people like it. It's strange in the way that it would be like totally like non-magical, not sci-fi fantasy or anything like that, like just him living his day-to-day life and meeting that woman, and then it would be like he would be, I didn't really understand it, and it might have just been me, but it would be like he was talking to these martyrs from history who obviously aren't alive and aren't able to converse with him, but it would be written as if they were like fluidly having a conversation, like an interview style. So I didn't really understand if that was supposed to be, if he was like imagining that, if that was actually happening, or I just didn't really understand, and I didn't feel like it was explained, or at least for me. So yeah, this might be something that you're interested. Give this a try if it sounds like it's something that you will like. However, for me it was not, and I was really looking forward to it, but it might have maybe just been the wrong time or something like that. But yeah, it just didn't end up being perfect for me. So yeah, that one I ended up giving 3 stars. So I don't really, sorry to leave this video on a bad note, but there was quite a bit of good reads, good that's the app, but like, yeah, good books in these 2 months. It was only the 6 books that I ended up reading, but I'm happy that I read anything at all. Normally my reading, if you've watched my other videos, you'd know, is like sometimes closer to 10 books in 1 month, and then this was 6 within the 2. But I'm hoping to have a lot more reading this summer. It is June 4th right now, so I have 3 more months with no school, which is crazy to me. The summers are so long in university. I've already had 1 month of my summer and I have a whole 3 more. It's crazy. But yeah, I'm hoping to get more reading done, and I'm not working that much this summer. I would love to get my money up, but unfortunately I have not been able to find sorry, there's a hair on me, to find a summer job. I have a part-time job, but it's just for like the weekends and sometimes on Fridays as well. But I really want to keep that one so that I am able to do that in the fall as well, like during the school year. So yeah, maybe I can get some more hours at that one, but so far not yet. And anyways, I don't know why I'm diving into this job talk, but it is something that's weighing on me, and I have tried to apply to other places. But anyways, all that to say that I'm not going to be that busy this summer, so I really want to do a lot of reading. Currently right now I'm reading other stuff as well, but the main one that I'm reading is Crazy Rich Asians. This is my first time reading this book. It's very popular and I want to watch the movie again. Oh my gosh, and I was just talking about Jimmy O Yang being in Crazy Rich Asians. That's so funny. But yeah, I really want to watch the movie again, and I just found this at the thrift store and I wanted something easy after my vacation, so I picked this up, and within like 2 or 3 days I'm already like almost 2/3 of the way done. So yeah, all that to say that I'm really enjoying it, and hopefully this will break me out of my reading slump that I'm in, and then I can go back into reading hopefully 10 books a month this summer, because I have nothing else to do. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I know this was kind of a speedy video. I don't know why I wasn't rushing through it. I didn't feel like I had that much to say, and it is a shorter amount of books. But yes, again, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next reading wrap up, and check out my channel if you're interested in any other videos. I'm currently posting my vacation videos, like I have one from each place we went. So by the time you see this, there should be about 5 vacation videos on my channel if you're interested in that. So yeah, again, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.